Welcome to Sins of O.M.I.T, Part 3, a Way or No Way special, where we chronicle the lame, craptastic masterpiece of Joe Quesada and Paulo Rivera's One Moment in Time. We left off with our hero Peter Parker, hero being the designated word, as he revived his Aunt May from a gunshot wound and being comatose and being at death's door through CPR and, as the doctor will tell him in this story, the power of love. Now, that would be nice. That would be great, if this played out in the original continuity. But no, it pretty much plays out in this one, which renders everything pointless, but then again, I'll get into that later. We pick up where we left off with, like I said, May being saved with Spider-Man enhanced CPR. And we have Peter Parker talking with the doctor, who says that he doesn't have any other explanation. There's no other explanation for it. Really? No other explanation? I mean, isn't that kind of your job to find out? I mean, you can't just exactly chalk it up to, oh well, love. Well, that's about as good a cure as any. But anyway, we go over to the nurse, who is all mysteriously dressed in crimson and lots of red, to give us this quote-unquote red herring that it's Mephisto, but really it's a plant for the Kingpin. Because evidently in this reality, he didn't take too kindly to Spider-Man beating about 200 pounds off of his fat ass. So he sets out to hire a hitman with a luchador mask to whack people on a list, including the nurse when he tells her to kill Aunt May and she refuses and threatens to turn him into the cops. Not going to go into how dumb that is, but whatever. Anyway, we move on to Mary Jane talking with her Aunt Anna on the phone, and as it turns out, her Aunt Anna is hearing voices and hearing things outside her house. So MJ starts to get worried, and the phone clicks out due to low battery or no signal or whatever. And she rushes over there. Well, first she tells the nurse there, the one that isn't on Kingpin's payroll, that she's just gonna check on a relative, and she doesn't want her husband to worry, and basically just to cover for her. And she does. So a couple minutes later, she arrives at Aunt Anna's and finds her unconscious on the floor with the luchador masked Mook holding the gun over her, saying he's getting ready to kill her, though it's not really his style, whatever. MJ conks him on the head with a flower pot or vase, and it only stuns him for a bit. So he starts getting all excited. He's like, oh, great! It saves me the trouble having to track you down. And he starts chasing her into the street. So he starts going like, "Oh, don't run! You know, Kingpin told me to take care of you extra special." And I'm just thinking, why is the Kingpin doing this? I mean, I get it, he's a crime boss, and this is what stereotypically crime boss guys do. I mean, but he knows he's gonna get his ass whipped again. It's kind of like he's daring him to kill him, or maybe he was just insulted so badly by the complete curb stomping that he got in Back in Black that he was just so insulted. You know, my pride was hurt. You know, and whatever. I mean, provided that he started it by shooting the guy's aunt. So the thug keeps going into suspiciously enough how it's all Spider-Man's fault, how wouldn't happen if she wasn't knocking boots with Spider-Man. So after he chases her through a dog-infested yard, which he ends up killing one and is tackled by another while she escapes, Peter gets wind from Anna about about the killer. So he runs to the nurse's desk and asks about it. Apparently she overheard everything and said that she was going to, she was just covering for her. So he grabs this guy who people say that he looks like Tom Brevoort. I don't know. I've never seen the guy. I don't know. I don't care. So he grabs the guy and says, "Hey you're a big guy. Watch this door." So he tells him, "Wait a minute, who the hell are you to tell me what to do?" So he lifts up his shirt, shows him the Spider-Man costume underneath. Yeah, in a crowded hospital room full of anybody who could see him. He's like, "Wow, dude, big fan." He could have also said, "Oh, dude, you're Spider-Man. Hey, it's Spider-Man. He's a federally wanted fugitive. Call Tony Stark." Yeah. I mean, he just so happened to grab the one guy in the hospital who actually liked him. I mean, that is just absolute. I mean, is that serendipity? Is that serendipity? I don't know. Anyway, Spidey swings out on his way. So after running from the guy for about a good several pages, the guy starts shooting at her again, and he says that he's going to kill her family. He's going to, going down the list of like her cousin, her kids, her aunt. He's like, "After I kill you, I'm just going to go back and kill your aunt. Then I'm going to kill your cousin, her kids, and I'm going to kill your whole family." He's like, "It ain't nothing personal." Yeah, killing an entire person's family is never personal. And juxtaposed with this is the pearl of wisdom that she said in the last issue, is what MJ said in the last issue about Peter Parker's life at Spider-Man. "Although you'll never do the horrible things that my abusive and emotionally distant and physically violent father did, being in a relationship with you as Spider-Man is pretty much the same thing." Sorry, had to slap myself there. Anyway, she starts to fight back. He conks her on the head with a gun, and he starts to shoot her. And then Spider-Man basically goes all Jack Bauer on him, slams him into walls, and shouts, "Who are you working for?" And and the guy's like, you know, "What are you, stupid? You don't know?" Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that would have, you know, to be honest, I kind of agree with that. It was like, yeah, really? You don't know? I mean, I understand you have a lot of enemies, but many of them are tights-wearing superhumans like yourself, and they don't really have much of a use for guns and thugs and luchador masks. I mean, except for maybe to carry out extra loot and provide human shields for the police, but other than that, they're pretty much useless. Anyway, Spider-Man unmasks the thug and recognizes him as Eddie Morente, the guy who chucked a brick at his head and then fell on him from the top of a roof, knocking him out in the first issue, preventing him from going to his wedding. And in the second issue, he's the guy who's Electro's, he was the guy who's Electro's lackey in the first issue. I'm trying to remember here. Oh god, I must have hit my head harder than I thought. I'm completely blanking on why Eddie was in the last issue. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm actually blanking on it. I might have actually succeeded in knocking the memory of that crap-tastic, horrible comic out of my mind. I mean, at least until the part of, you know, MJ's little comparison to her abusive father with Spider-Man's lifestyle. And I'm trying very hard to remember what happened. What was it? What was he there for? What did he do? Okay. This might take me a minute, but... Well, anyway, he recognizes him as basically the guy who's been ruining his life. And Eddie starts going like, "Oh, you know, payback's a bitch." So... Spidey hears sirens in the back, and Eddie, genius that he is, starts saying, "Uh-oh, somebody called the cops. Guess which one of us is a federally wanted fugitive?" Yeah, guess which one of us is also a wanted fugitive? Somebody who's attempted murder of a cop, not to mention attempted murder of a superhero, and is an all-around jackass slash potential rapist, and not only that, he was arrested. He was arrested in conjunction with helping a supervillain. I mean, yeah, which one of us is a federally wanted fugitive? Oh yeah, you're not federally wanted, but you're still a freaking fugitive, you dumbass. So Spider-Man leaves him swinging with his webs, and swings away with Mary Jane in tow. So Eddie screaming, "Officers! Spider-Man tried to shoot me!" Anyway, Anna calls Peter, using disguised names and whatever, using code names, and finds out that Mary Jane's alright. We cut to see Peter has taken her to Doctor Strange, and he's using a healing spell on her. I'll get back to that. He's using a healing spell on Mary Jane to help her deal with a concussion from getting conked on the head with a gun. So, I should mention that Eddie puts in Peter's mind that everybody knows who you are, Parker. You're never gonna run away forever. Somebody's gonna get you. We're all coming to get you. Anyway, back to Doctor Strange. And we see that Peter has thought about what Eddie said and is considering to ask Doctor Strange that he needs the world to forget that he's Spider-Man. Doctor Strange, rightfully so, tells him that this isn't something he can just do with a snap of a finger. No, but healing a bullet from a gunshot wound would be that easy. Shazam. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Klaatu Verada Niktu. Anyway, Peter continues to badger Doctor Strange about mind wiping the rest of the planet into not knowing who he is. So Doctor Strange asks him, "Are you really sure about this?" Peter goes like, "Duh, yeah." So he takes off to the astral plane, where he somehow meets up with Reed Richards and Tony Stark in a bathrobe. Well, not Reed Richards in a bathrobe, but Tony Stark apparently ascends into the astral plane when he's in the sauna. Yeah, that's the image. That's the image that's there at the end of the comic. And it ends with Doctor Strange saying that in your own ways, you both are responsible for what happened to Peter. No, not really. I mean, Tony put the idea of joining up in his head, but Peter unmasked on his own. He made that decision all on his own. I mean, it's the same. It's in the same vein of why he wanted of why he was selling his marriage in the first place. He didn't want to deal with the responsibility. I mean, granted, he wanted to protect his family, at least in this instance. But and this isn't as bad. Well, it's not really bad in comparison to selling your marriage to Satan. But at the same time, it's in the same vein of not owning up to your responsibility. And like I was saying earlier, Doctor Strange performing this mind wipe, heck, the mind wipe being performed at all renders not only Civil War pointless, it also renders One More Day additionally pointless. And that's on top of Peter saving Aunt May through CPR. I mean, the mountain of pointlessness of this whole thing is just absolutely staggering. It is the Mount Everest of pointlessness. And on top of that, the story really didn't need to be told. It didn't need to be told, Joe. You won. You got what you wanted. A world without a married Spider-Man. You got it. So why rub salt in the wounds? Why bring it back up? Why explain it? You didn't owe us an explanation. I mean, we felt you did as fans to an editor, as consumers to the product maker, but in all honesty, I mean, you were the editor in chief. Legally and technically, you didn't really owe us an explanation. But yet you're giving us one anyway. And the explanations you're coming up with only serve to further deepen the chasm of stupid that this plot and the plot that set up Brand New Day, One More Day, it has deepened the chasm of absolute idiocy that those stories have created. There was no point. It was the pointlessness of this entire series, this entire story arc. I mean, when I say this is the Mount Everest of pointlessness, I am not kidding here. Because the story itself, not just the story, but the writing of it, the creation of it, the whole thing is pointless. There's no point to this. You've got what you wanted. Why? Why are you doing this? What's in it for you? What, you think we're gonna just say, oh, it's okay? It's okay, Joe, to screw over millions of fans? To say, screw you to the will of the people? I mean, do you get some kind of joy out of... Do you think we're just gonna forget? There's no forgetting. There's no forgetting this. Comic book fans, by their nature, have a very long memory. You should know this above most. It's a story that didn't need to be told. It didn't need to be told. Nobody wins with this. Nobody. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe there's just something I'm just not understanding about your thought process when it came to making this story. When it comes to the reasons why you felt this story needed to be told. I mean, because you're the editor-in-chief, you know, if you didn't want this story told, it wouldn't be. Buck stops with you, boyo. don't know what kind of explanation they're gonna have for how everyone forgets. But I will say this. Whatever it is, it's gonna suck. And not only that, it has to take care of not only the magical aspect of it, but the technological and the public relations part of it, which is, I'm guessing, why he set out to talk with Stark and Richards in the first place. Doctor Strange talking to Stark and Richards. I mean, it's absolutely just mind-bogglingly ridiculous. And yet, here they are. Well, one more issue to go. And then my analysis overall. That might be a very short video. Heck, I might even just, just say screw it and just do the analysis right then and there. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do. So, part 4 will be my final analysis of One More Day. Well, of One Moment in Time, that is. And after that, there is only living after the truth. I will try. God give me strength. Because this piece of shit sure isn't giving me any mercy. See you next time, folks.